Hello guys, welcome back to Cornerstone Acres. This is your favorite presenter, Vincent. Today we are talking about on how we are feeding our chickens. How much food do chickens need? A regular question that we get from the comment section is how much food do chickens need? The simple answer is that your chicken should have unlimited access to a high quality complete feed, that is a well formulated feed. So how much do chickens eat? Most chickens will eat about 120 grams of complete feed per day. If the food is less nutritious, that is, for example, a grain mix or a table leftover or scraps, they will often eat more because they are trying to get enough of the nutrient, of the essential nutrient that their diet is lacking. And because a complete feed contains exactly the right amount of protein, energy and other nutritious nutrients, that is, chickens can regulate their own intake and eat the right amount for themselves. So the exact amount your chickens eat will, depending on age and breed, and whether they are laying or they are in that stage of molting. How much your chickens forage and what else they might be eating, such as scraps or leftovers or treats, will also influences how much feed they consume. Even the weather will influence how much chickens eat. You can imagine that, the weather. So how do chickens know how much to eat? That is another question. Like many animals, most chickens know how much food is good for them. If they have unlimited access to a complete feed in pellet or in mash form, your chickens will eat exactly what they need to thrive. But like us people, chickens are programmed, that is, to prefer high energy foods when these foods are available. In the modern chicken keeping, high energy foods are often low in protein or high in fat. Examples include bread and grains, as well as most cooked or processed foods. That's why chickens that eat a lot of leftovers can have poor nutrition or become obese. They fill up on high energy foods and neglect their feed. Grain mix feeds pose a similar problem, as chicken choose to fill up on their favorite ingredients, which are usually the fatty sunflower seeds or carbohydrate rich corn or maize. This grain mix feed is we are telling you that you should go for pellets. There will be no choosing of this selective choosing of the part that the chicken like most. And what we are saying here is they love the fatty sunflower seeds and the rich carbohydrate corn and maize, or the other name is maize. A chicken that eats too much and becomes unhealthy on a high quality pellet diet is extremely rare. You will not find a chicken that has developed unhealthy or has become unhealthy or is unhealthy because of eating quality feed. We move on, guys. So how much food should we give our chickens? Giving your chickens unlimited access to their feed is the best choice for most of the flocks. This allows for differences in feed consumption from the average 120 grams per bird per day. So in order to prevent your birds from gorging on less healthy food and neglecting their feed. You should never give your birds more leftovers than they can eat in 20 minutes or so. You should also avoid high energy, high fat leftovers and treats for the most part. If you are going to supplement your feed with grains, considering the protein and the carbohydrate content of the feed addition would allow you to calculate exactly how much it is good for your chicken. So when you are giving them these supplements or these leftovers, you should be able at least to gauge the protein or the carbohydrate content of those addition feed. So it is common misconception that chicken can live on leftovers or scraps and foraging, and then supplemented with a little bit of grain. So you give them scraps, leftovers, and let them forage, and then sometimes you supplement with a little bit of grain. That is very wrong. This may have been true for back in the days, back in the village. It was true because in the past, those chicken were not as modern as today chickens. The modern chicken breeds need a more complete and a balanced diet. Something else that we do when we are feeding our chickens is trying to save on money on the chicken feed. Trying to save money by decreasing chicken feed consumption is usually counterproductive. There are many online forums and blogs that recommend a range of ways to decrease chicken feed consumption, but you do so at the expense of the health and productivity of your birds. The most common way to decrease feed consumption is by replacing some of it with other foods. Some of the common suggestions include things like giving it oatmeal, grain such as cracked corn, giving it bread. Some give pasta, and some people will give high protein such as cat food and some other leftovers. The problem is none of these foods are truly healthy for your chickens. So your birds are likely to consume more of the supplement than they would if just given the normal feed. Most are also more expensive than the chicken feed. Plus, they can cause a range of health issues. Another suggestion is to limit access to feed to a few times a day, but this causes problems too. Free ranging allows your birds to supplement their diet naturally and in a healthy way, but they should still be given free access to feed. A better way to save money on chicken feed is to use a waste reducing feeder, so no feed is spilled and wasted. You should also ensure feed is protected from rodents and pests and those wild birds, especially at night. And you should choose a pellet or a mash. So you should go for, when you're buying feeds, you should go for the pellet form or the mash form, so your chicken aren't selectively feeding. So do chickens with unlimited feed eat more? That is interesting. In reality, limiting the amount of feed that to give your chicken is unlikely to make them eat less. Unless you feed each bird individually, dominant birds will eat the same amount, and only birds that are lower in the pecking order will eat less. This impacts the health and productivity of the lower ranking birds. Some people believe limiting the amount of feed makes chicken forage more, but forage doesn't have the same nutritional value as the formulated feed. and more dominant birds will still eat more. So we move on, guys, and I'm going to give you some 5 points or 5 reasons why chickens need unlimited access to a complete formulated feed. First point will be chickens confined to any sort of compound, run, or a yard do not have access to enough fresh forage each day. This is particularly true of protein, as even a large area is quickly depleted of insect if it is foraged on a daily basis. The second reason why chickens need unlimited access to complete feed is most chickens forage in a domesticated environment, either a backyard or maybe on a farm. There are fewer fruiting plants and insects available than in a wild environment, meaning less protein and fewer calories. That point, chicken keepers today do not usually cull their chickens. Culling is that they've reached, especially for those who do this commercial farming, it reaches like 1 year, those chickens are taken off market. So today, chicken keepers do not cull their chickens. This means our birds live longer, and in order to remain productive in old age, which is anything over 2 years for some of these chicken that I can mention for you is the Isa Brown. Those are the best layers, that one I know of. So anything over 2 years for an Isa Brown, for example, these birds need to have optimum nutrition. Today, chickens are highly productive, with many breeds laying 300 plus eggs a year at the most productive. This level of production require ideal nutrition. Chickens are our fifth point. Chickens are better foragers when raised by a mother hen who can teach them where and how to look for food. So few chickens have that sort of education, making it harder for them to survive on a limited diet. We move on, guys. Those are our 5 points. Those are 5 reasons why chickens need unlimited access to a complete or well-formulated feed. You are keeping layers. So what is the ideal diet for these laying hens? Ultimately, if you keep chickens for eggs and want them to lay most days of the year, you need to supply them with optimum nutrition that requires a complete balanced diet. It is not enough for this bird, or it is not enough to rely on what they can forage and supplemented by few extras, maybe the leftovers or little feed, or some of these little feed, the formulated feed that we give them after we've left them foraging. This is especially the case when you consider that chickens can live for over 5 years and you'd like them to be productive over that time. So for optimum health and optimum egg production, chicken should be given free access to a complete formulated layer feed. Allow your chickens to forage freely, but know that they will generally get most of their nutrition from their feed. Foraging is important for their well-being, and addition of some green especially are a very healthy addition to their diet. The most important thing is limit the scraps or the leftovers and other dietary addition. Give them well formulated feeds, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Please don't forget to subscribe so that when we upload a new video, you get notified. Thank you guys. Please hit that notification bell. Until next time, bye bye guys.